Welcome to another warm-up show on a Monday, November 7, 2022. This is a co-host, Cold Franchise, directly for the beautiful country of Thailand. And we have to go all the way to find our co-host from Ontario, Mr. ENORATP is in the house tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This was the tour of the ENORATP. He was on the show, producer, dancing star, the star of the dancing, something like that, Saturday night at the ballroom in downtown Toronto. Saturday night, he was performing over there with a group of the 16 other couple. He finished third on the dancing ballroom. So congratulations, Mr. ENORATP. And I'm sure your shows of dancing are out, are your bedroom right now, and wait for the next contest. Going to be in December 12th, downtown Toronto. He's going to defend, of course, his third position of the 60 other couple. We're going to follow up with more update, Mr. ENORATP.
I'm going with silver. I'm going for silver next time.
I agree about that one. So we'll maybe expect some picture for your wife in the next couple of days, Mr. ENORATP. How your performance? How your performance?
Thank you, Coach.
Week number 5, Mr. ENORATP. Week number 5, Mr. ENORATP, of the NHL already. So we're back with 3 games on the program. We have a lot of conversation to talk about tonight. We're going to go through this. And then, of course, we have a couple of people show up in the building. Without them, this show would not be possible. The good news, Mr. ENORATP.
Everybody there.
Dilwit Smith and Dilwit Smith verification decided to go, Mr. ENORATP, with nobody go to the bus from the Friday night and nobody go to the jail for Friday night because we have only 1 game. And then they decide to roll number, I think it was number 10.6 Annex BA. I'm not sure. I have to figure out. We have too many rows we have, Mr. ENORATP. So he decided to go, Mr. ENORATP, with we have to take a minimum. The minimum during the season, it's 3.
Yeah.
So below fair. 3, 1 or 2 game, no jail, no bus. Maybe we can celebrate bus if we want to, but no jail time for anybody. We know the monthly, Mr. ENORATP, by the way, it's the night of the leaderboard. So we're going to talk about who is on the top of the leaderboard. We have a couple of chances. Some people have a good weeks last week, and they have some kind of verification. The leaderboard, we're going to talk about the percentage, the number, the win per game, and then we're going to talk about the number of the point, the number of the people on the jail time, the most of the time, and then we're going to talk about the party bus. People get there the most of the time. So
weekly summary.
The weekly summary, as you said, Mr. ENORATP, and then we have I did not mention to you, Mr. ENORATP, I bring to you a new subject at the end of the show. It's going to compete only me and you. Start tonight. And you don't know about this. So I'm going to bring you
You're very competitive, Coach. You know that, right?
Yeah, I try to win.
I noticed.
But I try to talk about the bet of the night. So I'm going to give you 1 or 2 players. Do you go over or under? Is that helping the people if you do some kind of bet in the NHL? So I'll give you an idea, Mr. ENORATP. I just want to share it with you about this one.
Sounds great.
So we have a few people, Mr. ENORATP. Randy Walkman is in the house from Calgary. Randy, welcome back.
Hey, Randy, welcome.
Talking about the Calgary, we have to go a little bit south, Mr. ENORATP, because our friend Bobby Bagananats, game-winning goal hockey, is in the house. So welcome, Mr. Bobby. Thanks to be with us.
Vegas.
Bobby should join us on the prediction. We need to bring him on the prediction. We turn to become our number 25 player. So hopefully, Bobby, I would love to have you join us. He's not in, right?
Sounds good. Sounds good, yeah.
That'd be great about this. He's maybe at the top of the front graphic, Mr. ENORATP. We're going to see about that. Our friend from Portugal. Maybe he's in Portugal, but he still have the hockey on his inside of him. He have some kind of DNA. Mr. Fernando Tavares.
Welcome, Fernando.
Some name, Mr. ENORATP, is like the kind of, the batting third, Fernando Tavares. I feel like he's come from Venezuela. I don't know, some kind of hockey and the baseball style, everything like that. But there's another name you can mention, like a Tavares could be good as a dancer. Maybe have some kind of, because you have John Tavares in Toronto, maybe Tavares like him. Maybe he have some kind of relate with John Tavares, like maybe in the back, like behind, like mini, like 1700. He maybe not know. But something Fernando, you should look about this. He should maybe put his name on the ancestry.com where you can figure out who it was. Maybe have some connection, Fernando, about John Tavares. If I was you, I would looking about this one about that. But
you're gonna have to give us a history there, Fernando.
And talking about Tavares, he had to go with his name because his last name is Jamo Vartanen. He sounds very nice with the Finland people over there. He has something he can meet with some other players and relate. Maybe Jamo should talk about maybe have some kind of player play in the high level hockey inside his family, or something, like a Fernand, like Vardanen, maybe, who knows about this. And the moderator for Upstate Unibird from the South, Mr. Jose Duarte, is in the house.
The man, Jose, welcome.
Welcome back in the house. And he's right now traveling between home, from the business location to the home, somewhere, somehow. He's talking with the DIXON Automotive Group is in the house. He's talking about Pitlick. We'll talk about Pitlick in the next couple of minutes. And another moderator, Mr. Utah, he said running fact. In the 1980, Roger used the replace the goalie by the defenseman on the shooter attempt. Since he has no rules sake, he let goalie skater. He was out of score also. Yeah, absolutely right. That round with Kings, he did it. Roger, unfortunately, great innovator, Mr. ENORATP, Roger Nelson. I've been to the hockey. I've been to the coaching summer camp to him long time ago. I did been there 3 years back to back. Talking about Roger Nelson, we know he impact and very impact hockey missions. Very bad news yesterday, and I want to share with you because I have a kind of relationship with him a long time ago. 28, 29, no, maybe 2010 to 2013. The pass away of Mr. I apologize, I'm behind that. Usually I'm not supposed to be this way, but it's supposed to be that way. Peter McNabb passed away. Great hockey player, played for the Boston Bruins and number 8.
Absolutely.
And then Peter McNabb was one of the best, not the best, but he walked so many years behind the mic at the altitude.tv for the hockey, Colorado Avalanche analyst, hockey game for many, many years. I work with his wife. His wife's called, her name is Deanna McNabb, and she was in Aspen. Well, they divorced each other at some point, and she was in the Aspen. She was sport psychology, everything like that. So anyway, and worked with a lot of very high Olympic USA. She did, and then she introduced me to Peter, and then we for maybe 1 year and a half, I was at the practice. The time like Patrick Roy with François Allaire was coaching over there. I was at the practice at the Pepsi Center at the Arapao every morning, Mr. ENORATP, watching the practice and learning, take a note and everything like that. And Peter was stopped by and say hi to everybody around. So it's always been, not like a friend, but someone like you always look about this, So, person was doing the same thing, Mr. ENORATP, with the Florida Panther, was Dale Talon. Whenever he was the GM, he was, in the facility of the Panthers, Mr. ENORATP, they have 6 people. But that's a subject for another time. At the point, like in the morning, I would show up early in the morning. First of all, I was doing private lesson at 6 o'clock in the morning, done at 7:30, go get my breakfast, come back behind the glass and watching the practice. The first player was there. It was Jeremy Yager. And at the point, he was waving to me in the morning and said, "What the heck is doing here?" So it was funny to see that. The first time he was looking at me like, why is he here? Like, what's the head point? Then the second night, and then after that, then the morning, he started. Robbie Dallas, the coach, I talked to him a couple of times. Him and Yager was, waved to me in the morning like I was a regular people. And then I was part of just sit behind, but a lot of the reporter was behind the glass over there, talk, and then Dave Talon would stop by, say hi, and yeah. So it was my story
So
about that. I
was
start
this
with Peter McNabb. Now I finish with Dale Talon.
was this pre or post your UP days?
It was a great morning for me. It was fun to see that because you see the learning. You learn. If you want to learn, you have to go deep. You have to see things you don't see. And been in the hockey for many years, the East Coast Hockey League, the best part, people said, well, it was the best part. For me, it was the practice in the morning.
Right.
It's where really you have more connection with people and everything like that. So if you're really inside the hockey.
That's very interesting. But I was saying, Coach, is this before you did UP or after?
Oh, after.
After. Okay.
Yeah. After after 1990.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So it really changed everything for me when I was working with Granby and Saint Hyacinthe and Laval and everything like that. And then I moved to East Coast Hockey League 96. I started to 96 to go there. And then I moved on to 98. And then 98, I went to Mississippi, SeaWorld. Between this, I went to Daytona Bombers with Greg Ireland. I should talk to Greg Ireland. Wow, Greg Ireland. And then I went to Bruce Boudreau in the beginning of the end of 90s. And then I've been to Claude Lemieux 05. And then I went to back again with Greg Ireland. Greg Ireland, I see him back in the American Hockey League with the Texas San Antonio Rampage. That would be the end after that. And then after this, I shifted to the junior. I coached junior after that. And Boulder Bison. I've been to Boulder. And then after that, I went to Colorado for Florida. I coached junior on the USPHL after that. And then I decided to back off a little bit more. And coaching AAA and then AA. And then I finished with where I am tonight.
Wow. It's very interesting.
Long stretch. Now I'm Thailand.
Yeah. Now you're in Thailand, of all places.
Right? Yeah. By the way, today I'm going to meet Lester Choi. Lester is a guy who takes about hockey in Singapore, and he's back in downtown. So I'm going to meet him, have a lunch with him today. So I met him last month. The first month I was in Bangkok. So another story for another time. Mr. ENORATP. Here we go. We have Mr. Would Like to Sleep in the house. Welcome back, Mr. Would Like to Sleep.
Welcome.
The Captain Danny T is in the house. Welcome back, Mr.
Hey,
Danny.
Capitano.
And Miss
Danny.
Ellen back in the from Newfoundland. Ellen, funny dancing in our top. Yeah.
Hey.
We expect some picture, Ellen, and we're going to show to you the next couple of days for sure. And Mr. 13 from Laval is in the house. Mr. ENORATP, welcome back. We call him Mr. 13. So that's the reason we call him. Welcome back again. And then L. Anson, welcome back in the house. First, but maybe not the first time. If you are, welcome. If not, welcome back, Hockey Nation.
Hello, Hanson. Welcome.
And then we have Luciano. Graziano is in the house, Mr. ENORATP. Welcome back, Mr.
Hey, Luciano.
We have a full house. What about Vinny, James 007, James Bond? What about Marco Larabine, Mr. ENORATP? Back in the house.
Marco.
Happy Monday about this. William Snyder, downtown Denver. He knows what I was talking about a little bit earlier. Randy Walkman. So that, then I tried to get Bobby. Thanks. Almost finished, so I will have more time. In fact, it's been work on right now. Here we go, Bobby. Awesome. You take your time to stop by, and then Marco. And then Kelly Matthews. Kelly back in the house. Notre ami Denis Rodrigue. Welcome back, Denis. Merci d'être avec nous ce soir. Thanks so much. My further look into it. No connection allowed with Islander John Tavares from the Accord. Here we go. I knew he was looking for that. Coach, will you get better message from Thailand Wednesday? I'm not sure about this. I'm too busy. Honestly, I'm going to do my visa full year. So that's why I'm going to talk about this, Mr. ENORATP. 13 rookie in the house. Welcome back. We are double 13, Mr. ENORATP. Well, that most upsetting things of the day, Whiteman party on the second unit power play. Coach Jacques Plan invent the mask today. Wow, that's pretty amazing. But there's a Jacques Plante born in Shawinigan, where I was born, and now the
Shawinigan.
hockey rink's called Jacques Plante over there. By the way, I've been there at the beginning, but never been back over there. Melissa Zabrin, somewhere from Tampa to the East Coast,
Hey,
Florida.
Melissa, welcome.
We want to wish the best for the people in Florida because the Hurricane Nicole is coming very soon. Hopefully, it will be a storm, a tropical storm, not an hurricane. Really rare, Mr. Tap, and almost in November, you get an hurricane. I'll give you an idea. It's getting warmer and warmer around the world. Denis Rodrigue, Tage Thompson,
Yes.
non, à retenir. Remember, remind Tage Thompson, episode right. Joseph Laham, the big smile of
Good
Texas.
one.
With
Hey,
the
Joseph. Welcome.
Devils. Roger, the brother to another brother, is in the house tonight. Welcome back, the driver. You have a day off today, Mr. Roger. You have a day
There
off. You have a day off. You have nothing to drive nobody. Right now, you should know what to do about this. I think it was some other cooking channel. All right, not a problem about this. Yann Genet, welcome back for the New Brunswick. Welcome back. What a mess right now. And the Bruins organization.
Yeah,
we'll talk about this very soon. And I try to get everybody. Hope you get your visa update so you don't have to go to jail. No.
Oh my gosh, you don't want to be in jail in Thailand.
No, it's just a it's just a formality. It's just to pay. That's pretty much what you have to do, Mr. Notap. You learn a lot, Mr. Notap, when you travel like that, right? And
you just nod a lot.
So when you come to a new country, you have all the rules, everything like that. You tend to say it's so funny because I learned quickly, like you pay an extra money and the rule does not exist anymore.
Of course.
So
are you surprised, Coach?
The way they do that, yes. You know what I mean? Like they make the rules. You have to put 25,000 there. You have to do this. You have to do that. Do this. Everything like that. And the guy said, "No, just give me 1,000 and give me your passport to be sure we go there. You get 15-month visa." So
okay,
all right,
sure, why not?
I can do it. We're going to meet tomorrow and or Thursday, but I think it will be tomorrow. But Mr. Natap, that was the subject of the day. It was my traveling, but it was the subject, Mr. Natap, of what's going on with the Montreal Canadiens. So let's talk it first of all at the beginning, and then we're going to say about this. What do you do, Coach, tonight? I'm between right now to talk about hockey tonight at 9:00 p.m. about the Montreal Canadiens in News NHL, or do the game between the Washington and the Washington Edmonton Oilers at 8:00 p.m. So I'm not sure yet, Mr. Natat. Maybe the next 30 minutes I will figure out.
Can you put up a poll, Coach?
I'm not on YouTube channel right now, so I cannot put the poll out for today about this one. I apologize.
That's okay.
At news, the biggest news, Ren Pitlick is on the waiver wire for the NHL. What your first impression about this? People in the chat, you can talk about this. So don't forget, guys, to click on the likes. And I appreciate everybody to be with us tonight.
I think last week we spent a little bit of time talking about, some of the surprises, and Pitlick was one of them, and not in a good way, unfortunately. We didn't see him really display some of the skills that he had last year. And I wonder if part of that was, the line that he played on, whatever the case might be. When I first saw that he'd been put on waivers, I thought maybe this is to make room for the fact that I thought maybe Matt Madison might be around the corner and coming, but I found out that it's really because that Donov is coming back into the lineup. He's coming off of the IR, so they either had to waive Pitlick or Pizzetta. And I guess given the choice, I would rather Pizzetta stick around than Pitlick. And hopefully he clears waivers and it's a moot point.
Yeah. First of all, I said last week or the week before, I always said, I don't know to you or Marco, but you have many Pitlick in NHL. And that's an easy one over there. And can you go through the wire? Maybe, Tyler Pitlick got picked somewhere. Ren Pitlick can give another chance, like Chicago with Luke Richardson connection could be the team I think they could pick up him If you go there, Arizona could pick up him. They lost another players could get over there, and that's probably the two teams we may be looking for him. Otherwise, Washington could be another team at short term. It remind me a little bit like Josh Brooks. Is it Josh Brooks? Aaron Brooks last year,
Aaron Brooks, yes,
right?
yes.
And that's the kind of
He
player
was
can be
tossed around.
swinging left and right, everything like that. Like I said in the past, he's just
Are you
like a,
surprised, Coach? Are you
not at all.
surprised not about the wave, but about his drop this year?
Um, but not really, because if you look about the end of the season, it's like anybody else. If you put normally a player at the top six, he's going to produce better at the lower.
Right.
When you play 20, 90 minutes per game in the 20 minute, 17, 18, playing power play, and you really go to get the guy to go, you're going to get some result. Can he get a little bit better? Take advantage of this? Yes. But if you look about his 12 last season game, it's not like he was in the beginning. And but for me, it's like I was not okay, but not like he's a bottom six at the end of the day. And like I said, Montreal surprised a bit like, and now I think you said the right thing. You can tell to Pesada sit on the bench, sit on the up for 10 games, it would be nothing. It would be okay with that part over there. Pitlick unhappy right now. That's what you see since the beginning of the season. He believed he deserved more. And unfortunately, he did not. Why not that enough? We have other complication, guys, when you put a veteran on the waiver. They have the contract, everything like that. And I think the fact like Josh Anderson buy time right now for those kind of situation. And then when I said buy time, they open up a spot on the lineup, first of all. Then Mike Madison
Yeah.
is skating very well right now. He's coming maybe sooner at later. Is with Scott Pellerin and Adam Nicolas skating very well yesterday. So expect him to maybe a little bit shorter, come back a little bit quicker. So they gave another one. This one, I would be, we talk about this, Chris Whiteman should be the one get out of the zone about that for sure. We have a few people missing our top. We have Marco. Adam Barnes is in the house, Mr. ENORATP. And I think
Welcome.
that's what we got.
Need
Add
some water.
need to cut the current one of them. Ram is the first one to go about this one over there.
Yeah, well, we knew this was happening with the excess surplus of forwards that we have. I mean, like you said, could have been Dadonov or Hoffman. You can make the case that they merited the waivers more so than Pitlick, but I think it was the easier decision this way. And you never know, like the other guys, if they pick up, they could give you a bigger return at trade deadline time than Pitlick will ever give you.
That the way I see that today, Mr. On Top, is not easy to trade.
No.
If it
Nobody's,
was easy, they would be already gone. The one we talk
yeah,
about, like Ellen talk
yeah.
about the one, like the Dadanov, the Hoffman, the one. And honestly, it's not easy to put a player on the waiver like that. Like not the thinking to losing. It's about the effect, the situation with the salary cap, everything like that, Mr. On Top. So that's the one
Yeah.
of that. We're going to a little bit more about this. I forgot about this. Josh Anderson got 2 game suspension. What do you think about this one?
Well, I think it was merited. Petrangelo's back was turned to the play at the time. And, I think Anderson could have avoided it. He decided not to. I don't think it was necessarily uh, an intent to injure the guy, but it was premeditated that he was going to hit him at that point, and he made a point of it. And thank goodness it didn't go worse, because had he gotten injured on it, I think we could have been looking at more than 2 games. But yeah, it's merited. I don't think anybody can say otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely right about this one. They're lucky because the helmet hit the board.
Right.
So it could be very worse about this one there. The players should always recognize the danger of everything, and I think that's the reason because during the show app Daily News, your Sunday rendezvous with Marco and Karen Hans. We invite everybody to watching every morning, every Sunday at 11 o'clock. We have a premiere. I mentioned 2 games. It was one of the reasons they've been with 1 game, but I think the league tried to eliminate more aware for the players about this. So it'll be interesting. Of course, Josh and struggle. We're going to talk about him maybe later tonight. Um, the Montreal Canadiens struggle in the second period. This is a story come, if you look about this. They gave a lot of goals second period about this. It came last season. Like we talked about this last year where they struggle when they are far away from the bench. And it's something you have to be a little bit more aware of the players to recognize to stay on the ice or not at the right purpose to get out at the right time. And I think that's something that you try to figure out why the second pair we struggled, but that's the one reason. And then after that, that brings something. I will give you an example. Um, Caulfield, Zuski, and Dak play together with Savard and example Coley. Now they are on offensive zone. They are coming back because they have a transition for the jet example, and then Caulfield get out. Now they bring I don't know like Gallagher coming back in. Now it's not the same thing. Now the chemistry is not the same on the defensive zone. Or you can shifting Sabah out. You bring Edmondson again. Whatever, yeah, but it's only 5 players, not big deal. Yes, it is because you usually the player know where they are going, and they need more
Yeah.
communication, and you have to be sure. And that this other thing, what they do, they keep you in the zone for an extra 20 seconds. I'm telling you right now, you said oh, it's only 20 seconds. Whatever who you are, whether you're
That's
in
long.
shape, it hurt a lot. And I think for me, it's a big problem about the time about awareness second period. So one Montreal said they compete, one Montreal they work hard. Unfortunately, they don't work 60 minutes. They work 45 minutes, 40. And then the lap of the 5 minute, the 6 minute gap, they lost Vegas. It was a 355. And then the game prior to that in Minnesota was another 2 goal over there, or 3 goal and 2 goal. But those time they are very important, and that's something they have to get better for the Montreal Canadiens on the second period because that's the reason I believe it is. So
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I just want to share this about this one over there.
Good point.
And then Marcus said, I think the long chance biggest reason for the second period is that's what we talk about. Let's move on now, Mr. Nata, for the next one over there. One just disappear. Add chemistry. Um, I think we're going to talk a little bit more about this a little bit later, but I think Montreal Canadiens need more chemistry on the 3 other lines. We know the big story yesterday, it was, or this morning, was about Martin Saint Louis. Question was, do you see the glass, half full or half empty? And he said, I see half full, half full. And people make it, positive mindset, everything like that. I understand that. But I think for him, by the way, I did a Rubik's Cube of the Martin Saint Louis yesterday, but I think they need chemistry right now on the 3 other lines. So he said, the first line works. So if you see the half full, he said, oh, we have a great line, right? But he still work on the 3 other line. And I think the chemistry need to figure out something. And so the 3 line could be again backed by duo, but you need to figure out because right now it does not work the way they are doing. We need help for the other veteran players like Gallagher, Josh Anderson, Devorak, Drouin,
Yeah.
Hoffman, and Dadonov, and Jake Evans, and I can go all the way like that. So would be very interesting, but they need some kind of chemistry. It does go with the pairing, by the way, not only the forward. The
No,
pairing
you're
is
right.
another one over there.
The defenders as well. And I think once we get a truer picture of where Slavkovsky lies in that combination from lines 2 to 4, that will help solidify at least the second line, I think, because right now there's just a little bit too much jumping around and testing, and I understand why, because he's trying to get a gauge of where and who these players play best with. But it takes time, and that's fine. I mean, I think at the end of the day, you want to be able to have truly given all your players an opportunity to display what skills they have, how they react under certain situations when they have a lead, when they're trailing, etc. And this is the year to do that because we don't anticipate going very far. So this is the great chance for management to see what they have in terms of players or how much overturn they have to go through in the off season.
You're absolutely that about this, Mr. Natap. We're going to jump in for a little bit later on the other subject. NHL news. I have a lot of things I can talk to you tonight, but is this something I want to hear about you? You questioned me this weekend, I think, and then during the game, I could not go deeper about this. But the big news in NHL, it was really the situation with the Boston Bruins about the player Mitchell Miller, where he signed a contract Friday, and then they have this kind of the conversation where the player was a different perception about the situation, perspective. They gave the perspective of the situation. And then during the weekend, the reaction of the fans, the media. And then, when you go to Toronto for the hockey night in Canada, you're going to have this story get bigger, like one of the more bigger if it was only in Boston. And then you have
Yeah.
yesterday, the Boston Bruins finally decide to cancel the contract, whatever they want to call it. So I want to hear a little bit more about what you think about the Mitchell Miller.
Well, it's one of those situations, Coach. Like I wasn't overly aware of what the circumstances surrounding Miller was beforehand. That's why I think a couple nights ago when I asked you the question, I was trying to get that information if you knew it. Now, having read a lot of things over the last couple of days, you know what? I put part of the blame on the Boston organization. I think that before you ever make a move like this, you need to really investigate and you need to look at the situation and say, first of all, you know, everybody deserves a second chance. I understand that. Some of the things that he did, I would say all of the things that he did were heinous acts. And the thing that bothers me, it wasn't a one-time incident. It was a prolonged action of bullying, as well as other things. So how Boston, and I think Cam Neely today, when he gave his press conference, alluded to this, and he spoke about Don Sweeney and also the Jacobs. Um, they didn't do their due diligence in really looking into this and seeing, have you spoken to the victim's family? Have you followed up to see what kind of rehabilitation Miller has gone through or not gone through? Um, these are all things that are contingent upon you doing your homework. You do it when you go draft for a prospect. Why wouldn't you do it in this case too? So part of the blame I'm going to place on the management. I think they heard the message loud and clear, especially when guys like Bergeron and Foligno also came out and gave um, their respective opinions on the matter. They listened and they turned the action around. The other part I would put on the NHL as well, because these are things that the NHL should be ahead of the game. They shouldn't be reacting afterwards and looking like that they're always in the right with what they're doing. Like they need to vet out all players and make sure that they represent a brand, the NHL brand, and that they, more importantly, that we're bringing up, players that have that respect, that sense of honesty, and do things the right way. And for me, I'm all for second chances, but there has to be consequences for your actions. There has to be steps that have been put in place that make you uh, a better person. And maybe I'm not explaining it well here, but I think that those steps haven't been put in place. And hockey's a privilege. It's not a right.
Yeah. I'm read a couple of comments. And first of all, you're absolutely right. You have a lot of you have a lot of things fall apart on that subject, and I'll give you another perspective for me. Uh, you have a lot of people you can blame. First of all, Cam Neely and Don Sweeney. That were really my top of my list, really. the organization management, the Boston Bruins, on the 2022 with everything happening in the past. Like, let's go back to 3, 4 years ago until like the Logan Mailloux, the situation with Batch with the
Different.
Chicago Blackhawks a couple of years ago, the new wave that we heard, more women involved, more black people involved, and all of those kind of situations where they put more energy and they put money and they want to develop, and I can go all the way like that, right? But at the end of the day, NHL have to take a blame. So when you sign a
Yes.
contract, Mr. Nortap, right? So hey, we call it NHL, so we sign Mitchell Miller. It's a red flag right there. The NHL need to approve every contract. So they, it's not like you sign a
Yes.
paper, you send the guy. You have a different clause in the contract, and you have to go reevaluate and accept by the NHL. The NHL turn around and say yes, you can. So I had to blame the NHL to not take the first to tell to Boston, wait a minute here. We need to take a little bit more caution about this because the repercussion could be a little bit worse. What are you thinking about this? So, two people, Ken Lilly and Don Sweeney, did not think deeper. The only homework they asked Patrick Bergeron, Brett Marchand, and a couple of players what do you think about this. They gave them. They was against that, but they considered to not listen to them and they signed Mitchell
Right.
Miller.
Right.
That's another
Yeah,
thing.
and I agree 100%. It's part the Boston organization, but a bigger part the NHL.
So
That's why they're in place, and they need to
so
vet all
that
these things out.
exactly. The third lay, they have a lot of lack. First of all, not much the recognized by the kids to get a little bit more deeper and to learning about that adversity and then say, okay, what I can do to become better, what kind of the course, everything like that. And I think that Arizona did a good move when they draft him. They make a mistake, but they release him right away. But I think at some point, maybe somehow, somewhere, some people could reach the kid, helping him, like they did with Logan Mayu. Logan Mayu taking the
Yeah.
same thing, and then the kids sent the letters when they said nobody wanted to draft me or whatever it was in the past, everything like that. But my point to you, have a lot of people drop the ball around him, and including him. Unfortunately, he did not do it. Now, we always believe on the second chance, right? But again,
Yeah.
you cannot compare that case with Logan Mayu. The
No,
guy
no.
bullied the
One.
kids for many years,
Yeah.
everything like that. And
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't know as the dad, if I was the dad of this kid, did that, everything like that. First of all, I would be ashamed about this, right? But you still love for you, whatever is the blood of your family, right? But I think if I was the dad or the parents, and I'm not going to judge the parents, but I think I would knock the door of the other family and have a meeting and sit with them
Absolutely.
and explain, say, look, we understand your sadness and how you suffer, everything like that. We don't want to get you to, to open the door only for us to everything will be fine. We want to apologize. We want to, as a family, to tell you he did a really bad things about that. And
Yeah.
when you do that, I'm not saying that fix everything, but that proves something, the character of the kids and also the family. I think have something, everything. And again, like looking at you, become a bit more positive. Not what everything he did is going to be there forever, but he turned around to create a kind of respect, fundraising, and he create open door. I think that this story about the about the Boston have to be a learning process for other if ever happening in the future for the NHL, for the hockey team. For me, the World Cup call here, the NHL focusing too much on the money and on the talent players to try to win
Bingo.
versus what is the most important thing is the human being behind everything. And I think that's a
100%.
learning process. By the round, that's for me everything like this. And again, I'm 50-50 because I always want to give the chance to the kid. But if the kid show me something in return, I'm open the door. The kid don't show something, send an Instagram and a letter, and that's it, that's all. That's not showing me enough to reinstall him. I think this I have to really to throw on the Boston Bruins situation for them. They really missed the ball right there. So
Yeah, and if I'm Boston, I don't know why you would want to even hazard to take this opportunity to ruin the chemistry that they've built. Like, here's a team that's clicking on all gears right now, and you bring this into the change room. Poor judgment. Poor judgment.
Exactly, Mr. Natap. We could go with other subject, Mr. Natap. We're going to wait a little bit later for sure because I have three more things about this. But Mr. Natap, it's time to go to the leaderboard and to show the people who did very
All
well
right.
last week and then send the beginning of this. So first of all, guys, we have to give credit for Natap. Yes, Hockey Channel. I drive the hockey, the channel, the Hockey Initialized Show. But you have the people here make an impact. Here, and Enartap is one of them with many others, moderator and other panelists, Marco, Karen, Michael DeLanery. I can go all the way. But Enartap, guys, does a great job. He took in charge about the warm-up show. He offered me to take care about the result, everything like that. And he does an amazing, great job. And that's the reason the graphic show to you guys. And every day, he's all volunteering. His time he pass with me every day. And the past he take all the note is unbelievably amazing. And I just want to sharing this guy because he deserves all the credit and all the merits about what's going on here. But we have Mr. After the total, the point, and Yamo from Finland take the lead at 81. And we have following by Cole Franchit and then Fernando Tavares, Vinny, and Artap, and Jose run with Kim. You can go all the way from the top to the bottom. And we, that's a great guys to do this. And then Mr. Natapa, we have a couple of people. Last week, Marco have the best week number 4 with 25 Marco point last week. So congratulations, Marco, on that list over there. And if you want to participate, guys, the email is right there at the bottom, the left corner, HNLS warm-up show. We need looking for players. Ellen, please join us. Melissa, join us. And Bobby is going to do it a little bit later. Here's the most W, and now that's changing because not Siamo now, it's Fernando Tavares have the most winning of the situation for Portugal. So Finland, Portugal, Mr. Natap take the lead and is getting there. So congratulations. Wayamo is the number 1 at the point because he get maybe more point for the right score, Mr. Natap, or the total
That's
of the
right.
game.
Exact score.
Exactly about this. Then the percentage, Mr. Natap. Sue is number 1. You're 1-0. Relax to because you eliminate. You need to play a minimum of 60%. Fernando is still at the top. Nobody is over 600, Mr. Natap. Last year we played better. We was over 650, and the reason why you have a lot of game was expected. It was not the right way. A lot of lower team beat the best team, everything like that. I'm talking about the example like the beginning, like Toronto, Edmonton, Calgary struggle right now, Pittsburgh. Anyhow, so that gives you an idea. Like Yamo dominate on the point is number 6 on the percentage, Mr. Natap.
Very good. Yeah, that's excellent.
But the most important thing, Mr. Natap, is about the people go to jail. And right now, Kelly is number 1, unfortunately, with Richard Mullen. Both of them are late. After that, we have a couple of people at 3, Luciano, Danny, Ian, Roger. We have to give credit for them because those people like Kelly, Richard, Luciano, they take risk. They want to get the big prize at the end of the night. So, but they maybe like to go there. Who knows, Mr. Natap? They maybe enjoy to get there. Richard Mullen finally get out of the jail.
Tunicala.
He finally found a way. But the most important thing is the people could the boss and look like Fernando enjoy more and more to get in the boss, Mr. Natap. He's getting 7 times so far. He dominate. Mr. Natap, you like to get there too. With 6.
I like that party bus.
And Roger Danny controlling with 4 times so far with Yamo and Jose. So congratulations the leaderboard this week. Thanks so much, Mr. Natap. Like we said, nobody go to jail today. So we will start at 0. So that's good news. We have 3 games on the night, Mr. Natap. And there we are in the house tonight.
Oh boy. Yeah. And I saw already one prediction that Randy keeps sending me every day. Every time Calgary plays, he always goes against them. And I thought, Randy, you were a Calgary proponent. And I don't know. He gave us a prediction of 8-0, Coach. Did you know that? He gave us a prediction of 8-0 for the Islanders for tonight.
Randy he's always like that.
I know.
I don't know why he does not like
reverse
the
psychology.
I think he likes more the Leafs.
Yeah, maybe. We'll have to see. Anyways, the Islanders are returning home after that 3-0 defeat to the Red Wings on Saturday afternoon. Uh, they're one of the most well-rounded teams in the NHL, being in top 10 in both goals for and goals against. Surprisingly, Barzal has yet to score this season, which kind of surprises me, even though he does have 11 assists in 12 games. But he's got to start finding a way to also fill the back of the net because, as we mentioned, even though some other players are slowly starting to come into the picture with the offense, they really need him. He's their catalyst. He's the one that drives that engine, and that's the only way I can see them making a strong push for that wild card in my eyes. One thing is for sure for the Islanders, like they're always um, a defense first team, and with the goaltending that they've been getting, they've been in just about every single game. I think there was just one game that they kind of lost by about 3 or 4 goals, but every other game they've been in it right to the end, tooth and nail. So I anticipate seeing a close game here again tonight. The Flames, they come into New York after a 4-3 defeat at home to New Jersey on Saturday night. I don't like the number of mistakes I'm seeing, the turnovers, especially in the neutral and also the defensive end for Calgary. I think that's something that's very. I'm surprised that Suter hasn't tried to address that a little bit more in depth. You can see that the offense, the lines, they have to come back and help out in these situations because right now they're leaving it strictly in the hands of the defenders, and they're not moving the puck up out well yet. So that's something that they have to work on. So this will be a tough game, I think. Some other guys are doing very well for the team, so that's a good sign. But some others have to wake up. I think guys like Manjapani has to contribute a little bit more. You can tell that they need an extra winger as well on this team, a scoring winger. Toffoli's always been streaky, so I'm going to go with Calgary to win this one on the road by a score of 4-3.
Wow, surprisingly, Mr. Natap, you surprised me. I took for
I
you
try.
Islanders for 3-2.
I think it'll be a late game victory for Calgary. They have to win. 3-2. Okay.
I go with Calgary about that one with that too. I almost changed at the last minute now, but I get my guts here. I think it
Yeah.
should never go against the Rockin'. I learned this now, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's true. But also, when you return home after a road trip, sometimes it doesn't bode well the first evening that you're back. So I kind of went with that as well. Our second game, we have St. Louis and Boston. These two teams have trended in opposite directions in the first month of the NHL season. Boston enters this game 10-2-0, which includes a record of 5-0-0 at home. St. Louis, they got out to that great start. They won their first 3 games of the season, and now they've dropped 6 consecutive games in regulation, which means they're not picking up any points along the way, which is the worst thing. This is something that's got to stop for St. Louis. I really thought that the last game after O'Reilly kind of took the load on his own shoulders and spoke with the team that they were going to come out swinging, and they did not. They lost their 6th game. Um, you know, uh, right now the Blues are a mess, and opponents are taking advantage of this. And Boston will be the best team the Blues have played so far this season. They come in at a very bad time for St. Louis, considering their downward spiral. The Blues are not losing games in a close competitive fashion either. They're getting sort of they're kind of getting bullied around, which is surprising to me because they're a team tough squad, and I anticipated like much more of a pushback, and we haven't seen it yet. Like in their current 6-game losing streak, they've been outscored 30-10 for an average final of 5.00 to 1.67. In the Blues' last 4 games, they allowed 6, 7, 5, and 5 goals respectively in those games, and that goal prevention is 5th worst in the NHL, and their goal scoring is last in the NHL. I never thought I'd be saying those things. Binnington has not been himself, at least in terms of being a superb goaltender. He's been very mediocre. So I'm going to take the Bruins to win this at home by a score of 4-2.
4-2 Boston, right?
Yes.
And Ellen said Bennington is a bully. I just heard Mike Smith sign a contract one day for the Boston Bruins tonight to be a goaltender, Mr. Nice. Mike Smith is going to be between the pipe. His only goal is to go cross the red line, jump on the Jordan Bennington tonight.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't be surprised. He deserves it. I think once he can focus a little bit more on the game and not being a bully, then you'll see better results from him. But not.
I have he's my goalie for fantasy. By the way, Mr. Natap, for the first time, yes. I did not talk about this to you before the show, but I won last week, Mr. Natap.
Yes, I know.
0.4. 0.4. I go to bed. Game. I losing 93.7, something like 93.1 to I don't know. And then I wake up the next day, and then I win by 0.4, I believe, or something like that, like less of 1 point. So I still the game to Brad Marchand, and I'm back in the race, Mr. Naftap. I know you lost last week, but
I did not have a good week, but it's okay.
Now Ken McCall wake up. I just need now to wake up, and then I'm going to find Bennington. My Jesus,
you could be waiting a while for Huberdeau. Well, last game, Coach.
You need to wake up tonight, Mr. Natal. We just take Gary tonight. What's going on now?
Both the Oilers and Capitals have shown plenty of upside, but are in the middle of the pack early on in the season. Going into this matchup, the Oilers have looked a bit better, but overall, a bit better both overall and recently. Like Edmonton has won 5 of their last 7 games, while Washington is winless in 4. And they've dropped also 5 of their last 6 games. The Capitals lost the last 2 losses came to a good but not great Detroit Red Wing team and a bad Coyote team at this stage. The Capitals have a couple of good performances under their belt, and that's great. But you can tell that their age is starting to show, and their injuries have been a big factor. And they seem to keep adding to that list. And it's hard to play. Like you can manage without a player or 2 or 3 if you have to do it for a short period of time. But to do it over a long stretch, it's hard to do, and teams will capitalize on that. No pun intended. The Oilers, they have an identity centered around offensive production, and they're dominated by their high-end talent, guys like McDavid, Draisaitl, Kane, and now we're seeing contributions coming from the second and third line as well. So that bodes well for them. The Capitals have allowed 3 or fewer goals in 6 straight games, and that's pretty good goal prevention. Unfortunately for Washington, they've only won 1 of those, and they're scoring fewer than 3 goals per game themselves. So that's not going to get it done, especially against a high-powered team like the Oilers, whose success is driven by offensive production. So I'm going to go with the Oilers in this game to win 4-3.
Well, I said 4-2 for you, Mr. Tap, or 4-3. Yeah. And I did Edmonton, Mr. Tap, 5-2. And we want to welcome Mr. Alan Vianco. He asked a question about Ren Pitlick. Marco gave you a great answer for you, Alan. The only thing he make a mistake is the time now. It's not at 12 o'clock p.m. It's now at 2 o'clock p.m., Mr. Allen. So, but Marco was right. You have to wait 24 hours. And then after that, if his claim is going to go with the team, if not, he's going to go in direction of the Laval Rockets. So, Marco, thanks to answer him back. It was at 2 o'clock. And then Ellen Vaillancourt. Ellen O'Keefe gave us a 3-score miss on the top. So I took a note about her score and I will give it to you. And we're going to put Ellen and the game tonight. Whatever she does, send us an email to us. And I will see if she was right or wrong about this, Mr. Natap. But I just want to share with you about this. She took Edmonton 4-2, 3-0 Islanders. And I think she took the Boston Bruins 5-6-2, Mr. Natap, 5-6-2. So I got it for you, Mr. Natap. Mr. Natap, before we leave, I want to bring you back here. And it's something we're going to start, you and me. And I'll give you the odds about this one over there, Mr. Natap. And if I can find it. So bet of the night, Mr. Natap. And tonight is about Nebraska over 2.5 shot on the goal at minus 134. McDavid over 3.5 shot on the goal, minus 120. So do you expect this happening or not? This is always my result. So I'm bet on both of them tonight to go over. So my question to you, do you go over or under?
100%. I go over for both of them. I think DeBrusk is averaging between 4 and 5 shots, and McDavid is, if I'm not mistaken, last time I checked, he was at around 6 shots per game. So I think those are safe bets to go over.
Exactly, Mr. Natap. So we're on the same page, but that give us a BP. Some people want to buy the bet, hockey. Sometimes you don't have to go on the over or under, but you have to go maybe some kind of a little bit deeper bet you can get and Natap. Be reasonable with your bet. We don't want you to lose money. We're just for sharing with you the bet I do every time that. How much does Pitlick make per year? 1 point.
I thought he hit 2, didn't he? Or...
No, it's at $1.4 million and 1.8 or one. There you go, $1 million, and the year number 2 is 1.8, Mr. Nartap. And I'm going to verify this to you, Coach. How you know that? Because
Coach, if he makes it through the waivers and goes down to Laval, how much does Montreal save on the salary cap?
Always a player go to Laval, example, right? An American Hockey League, they got $1.125 million less. So right now, Pitlick, guys, is let me check about this to confirm with you. I will give you a great example here. So here's the point here. Pitlick is at $1.1 million, Mr. Natap.
Okay.
And this point right there is the salary cap for Laval. If you go send someone, is $1.125 million. So the full money of Pitlick is out of the salary cap for the Montreal Canadiens.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
So the total contract was at $2.2 million in Senator.
Yeah, that's great.
So I just want to share with you everything of that about this. And then do we have something else? There you go. We answer to Alan. Don't see anything picking him. I said to you, Alan, I would not be surprised if Chicago or Arizona could pick up him. Can the Minnesota Wild pick him back, Mr. Natap?
You know what? They could, but I don't see his situation improving. I don't see the situation there improving for him.
Well, apparently they don't have no players. They missed too many players right now.
Yeah, for the time being.
Yeah. But again, it would be interesting to see that good money to wash the dishes, Alan said. And that's what we will that. Positive.
Hey, every penny counts, Alan.
Yeah, would be interesting to see that for sure. I don't know if we do 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock. Still thinking about this, Mr. Tap. But we invite everybody to follow me at 9 o'clock. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go that direction, Mr. Tap, tonight, and possibly we
Sounds
invite
great,
some
Coach.
people join me live talking about hockey, Mr. Tap. And then what's more thing I was trying to get there. I cannot remember. I was doing something else, but anyhow, we passed the time. 2 games start at 7 o'clock. We'll be interesting to see Boston Bruins. Can the St. Louis Blues stop the straight of the losing? And then Calgary come back about the Calgary with John Huberdeau. And we'll be interesting to see him who's going to do. So, Mr. Natal, we did very good tonight. We did a lot of subject. We talk about Svante. We're going to continue talking about hockey tonight, 9 o'clock p.m. And we want to thank you, Mr. Natal, for your join us tonight. And again, we'll be back tomorrow night, 6 o'clock p.m. A busy night tomorrow night, Mr. Natal.
Yes, I think it's 11 games tomorrow.
11 games tomorrow night, so we're busy. Yeah. We're not talk too much about everything. We're going to very focus about this one over there. So we want to thank you. But before we leave, Mr. Natal, we want to remind you one more thing.
You are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best.
GOAT.
And remember, you have greatness.
Here we go. Thanks so much, Mr. Natal, again for your participation tonight. We look forward to see you next time. But we want to remind everybody, of course, be well, be healthy, and we not only dominate your day, but find a way to dominate what, Mr. Natal?
Year 2022.
He did it again for one more time. We wish you an amazing, great night. And I can wait to see you next time. Have a great night, Mr. Natal.
Good night, Hockey Nation. Good night, Coach.
Maybe we take a few our ends. Ellen, thanks so much. Danny, Yamo, Bobby, Randy, Roger, Jose, Dixon, RJ Calabro was in the house a bit earlier. Marco, Fernando, Yamo, Steve G in the house a bit earlier. Ronwick Kings, Luciano. Kelly, Chicago Bear,